Yo, what up? It's your boy, Mr. Clutch, as always, and I'm here with the one, the only, the Gamers Lab. And today, we're going to go over part 2 of our 3-part series on the I-form effective red zone offensive scheme. Now, like I said in the first part, if you haven't seen that one already, go check it out. But like I said in the first part, this is a very simple but very effective offensive scheme that you can run in the red zone that will be using plays that you probably have already been using throughout the year, but running them a little bit differently, utilizing the motion from the wide receiver to make the play even more effective and to counter some of the things that people do to stop the fullback dive and the halfback toss in the red zone. So like I said, this is part 2, and in part 2 we're going to be going over the fullback dive, which is found in pretty much all I-form formations in pretty much every playbook in the game, which is another reason why this is extremely effective playbook and extremely effective scheme. So like I said, we're going to go over the fullback dive, and what I'm going to do is just run it against random plays. Now, if you guys saw the first video, what you noticed is on the first video I actually ran the halfback toss. This is the play that I'll come out in, I would say 7 to 8 out of 10 times. Usually I'll come out in the halfback toss first, just because people have a tendency to run plays and formations like the one you see here where they run goal line because they want to stop the fullback dive and other runs up the middle. And then that just leaves the toss more wide open, so that's effective. And then I can also audible to the halfback dive to run the ball up the middle. Now, while the halfback dive up the middle is an effective formation and an effective play, especially with the motion, it is definitely stoppable if you run it in the box. I would say the fullback dive is probably, like most people already know, the most effective play to run, to just run the ball right up the middle to get 3 to 4 yards. Now, I will admit that the fullback dive alone is already a very effective play without doing any audibles or any adjustments or anything to it. So I'm not trying to bring anything new or groundbreaking to you guys. Like I said before, what I want to do is show you a way to run it more effectively so that it still works even though it's been out for a while and people do have fullback dive defense. Now, what you notice a lot of times when people that know what they're doing do to stop the fullback dive is they take either a safety or a linebacker and put them in the A or the B gap to pretty much plug up the hole or to get a free person to come in. So the reason why I like to add the motion on the fullback dive is because then you have pretty much a fullback dive with a lead blocker that'll pick up anybody that comes in free and allow your fullback to still get that easy lane and either truck somebody or just have wide open grass to run right up the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what it looks like, and then show you here that even against a formation like this goal line offense, or goal line defense, I'm sorry, you can still run the fullback dive up the middle with the motion and consistently get the ball in the red zone. I usually run this if I run the toss first, or if I'm in, like, say I'm on the 10-yard line, I might run the toss and get to the 3 or the 2, but I usually like to run the fullback dive when I'm really close or on the 2-point conversion play. If you've already been running the scheme and you've been running the toss also, then mixing it in with the fullback dive just makes it even more of a headache because it's another thing that they have to think about trying to stop. So when I do the motion, I want you to pay attention to where I snap the ball at, but my goal is to snap the ball right after he crosses right in the gap between the tackle and the right guard. What'll happen is he'll actually kind of shoot left a little bit if I can get the timing down, and he'll pick up that blocker, that guy that's supposed to come up that hole in the right A gap, and then you'll be able to come in right behind him and score the touchdown. So we'll go ahead and run it real quick and show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. So you want to snap it once he gets about there, and as you can see, the fullback comes right up the middle, and then the person doesn't even make contact with him until he already crosses the line of scrimmage. So in a formation like this is the ideal time where you want to run the fullback dive. The reason being is the play is a little bit more spread out on defense, and then when you do run it with the motion, you'll be able to get him as a lead blocker, like I was saying before, and he'll be able to walk right up to the middle of the end zone and score a touchdown for you. So we'll go ahead and run it with the motion. You want to snap right about there. As you can see, he cuts up the middle. He picks up he picks up that linebacker who would have normally shot that gap, and then you walk right into the end zone for a touchdown. So we'll go ahead and run it a few more times and you'll be able to see exactly what I'm talking about. Again, this is another goal line formation where the box is pretty stacked. He picks up that blocker. As you can see, that's actually a perfect example, so I'm going to go to the replay and show you what I'm talking about. But he picked up that linebacker. The wide receiver picked up that linebacker who normally would have shot the gap and tackled your fullback in the backfield. He picked him up, and that allowed your fullback to get in across the end zone for a touchdown. So I snapped the ball. He came right up the gap he was supposed to. He blocked that linebacker just long enough for you to get right past him and score a touchdown. I'm telling you guys, this scheme is a headache to defend against. So that's how you run the fullback dive. It's pretty effective. Stay tuned for the last part, the passing play that I like to run out of this, which is the Texas play. Stay tuned for that. That'll be coming out tomorrow, and I'll show you guys how to effectively pass the ball out of that play. And once you run the fullback dive and the halfback toss, if they find some type of good run D or they start run committing it, you can score an easy touchdown from passing the ball as well. I will say that the passing play is probably my favorite part of the scheme, and I do run it quite a bit even when I'm not in the red zone. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, if you guys have any comments, leave them in the comment section below. Other than that, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you guys for coming and checking out the video. That's Mr. Clutch. I'm out.